Hello, my name is Bruce Francis, and I've just completed a teaching tour in Europe, which is finishing in Germany. I want to welcome you to the Tai Chi Mastery Program and to let you know that we'll be opening it for a limited period of time. It is my hope and my belief that this program will begin to show you what the energy work, the qigong of Tai Chi is that makes Tai Chi something truly wonderful. I believe that you will find it to be extremely helpful whether you're interested in Tai Chi for health, for healing, for meditation, or for martial arts. I would like to express my gratitude to all those who are involved in Tai Chi and in their own way are doing something to make this a better world. I want to thank my teachers, without whom I could not have learned what I learned. I would like to thank the generosity of my teachers for actually sharing of themselves and not just information and bringing it forward so I could understand it. I would like to thank all the people who teach Tai Chi, whether you do it only an hour a week or you do it all the time. I'd like to thank my own teachers who I've trained for going and taking it forward to help people in future generations, and the teachers of every Tai Chi style who are out there doing what they're doing. And I think it is only by all of us cooperating together that we can spread what Tai Chi can do for human beings. I've studied all three of the major styles of Tai Chi, the Yang, Wu, and Chen. I began with a combination style that had all of them mixed together, and then I went back and I learned them separately. In the Yang style, I began by learning Tai Chi with Cheng Men-ching, who was one of the people who brought Tai Chi to the West originally. I did that in New York in the 60s. Then later on, I studied with one of his top students, Titi Liang. Then I went on to study with Yang Shouzhong, who was the eldest son of Yang Chengfu, the great-grandson of the original Yang that the Yang style of Tai Chi comes from. And later on, with Lin Duyin, who is a representative of the generation before him, the old Yang style. Then I studied the Chen style of Tai Chi with Feng Zhiqiang, who was pretty much the senior Chen style person in China when I was there, and who later on became the head of Tai Chi of all of China. He died this year. And with him, my last teacher, dying, I felt it was somewhat my responsibility to make sure that I did something. I no longer could rely on the older generation that they were the ultimate arbiter. And I would like to thank especially Liu Hongjie, who took me into the deepest levels of qigong of any of my teachers. Now, he did the Wu style of Tai Chi, and he studied with the person who started the Wu style of Tai Chi and lived in his house. As a matter of fact, he actually was the person who penned Wu Jianquan's book. All of these people, I began Tai Chi doing a combination style, and I went back and found out what all the pieces of it were. But it doesn't matter what the style of Tai Chi is that you do, because that will depend upon what teacher you can find. The most important thing is that you do it in a way that will bring the most out of you as a human being that Tai Chi can bring out of you. Now, Tai Chi is good for a wide variety of people. It's good for rehabilitating injuries, recovering from illnesses, getting rid of stress, making people be able to perform better in business and in professional life and get through the day, and a lot of other things. It's good for martial arts. It's good for being able to heal bodies. It's good for attain higher mental perception. But that's a laundry list of things. What connects it all? What makes it all possible? What makes it all possible is qi, or life force energy. Now, in the West, this is beginning to become a new paradigm, and many people say, well, there's no qi, it's a load of nonsense, that's some sort of, mistaken supernatural belief. And on the other side, science is starting to find all sorts of things which exactly parallel what qi is, from the quantum field and to a lot of other things are actually coming online that may shock people in the future. But what we're looking at is that what unifies all this is qi. So we have kids' cartoon shows that show people using qi, and we have big CGI movies that show people using qi. But now the question becomes, well, okay, that's really nice on a TV set, but how can you make it happen for you? Well, there are ways that if you practice, take this life force energy that's inside of you and shows you, one, how to recognize it, so you know if it's there or not. Two, and what you do with it and how you use it to produce effects. And this is at the root of Tai Chi. And in terms of this, the one system that has gone really mass in the sense of, tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people doing it has been Tai Chi. It's a very, very organized way that within its movements, it shows you how to move Qi within your body and within your mind. I just use this. If we talk about Qi, it's like computer programs. You've got a box. You've got a beautiful little iPhone. And it's got a really nice design. And those are the movements. And those are just movements. Wait a second. You don't get an iPhone for the design. You get it because it does all those things that iPhones do. It does all those things that computers do. That's the Qi. The way the programs run that do something, that's the way the Qi moves inside your system. The way you get information to travel through your body at every level, down to the cellular level, or just as big as your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles. But it's also what allows the energy that's inside your body to make your brain come alive and make your brain become clear. If the Qi in your body is blocked, you easily become and stay tense. If the Qi in your body flows, you easily become relaxed, fairly comfortable, and more or less able for high performance. So whether your interest is just in being healthy or your interest is in being really, really good in something, the fact of the matter is that you need Qi to do it. People have often asked me what Tai Chi did for my life. So I'd say several things. The first one is that when I was younger, when in my 20s, I got a case of hepatitis. The people on both sides of me died from it. I had a doctor telling me, basically, if you have a letter to write to somebody before, write it soon, because you may not be alive very soon. I got up and I did Tai Chi, and this was after having done it for, about 5 years, and I just opened up the energy channels of my body. It was very difficult. It was painful. It was exhausting. I slept for 3 days, but I didn't die. So that was one thing that I thought was terribly useful. Then I used Tai Chi when I used to do very heavy-duty, full-contact competitions to heal my body after they got smashed up quite a bit. I also found that Tai Chi enabled me to win those full-contact competitions by giving me the internal power and the internal fighting skills that made sure, A, I didn't get hurt, and B, the other person did. Then, in 1982, I had my back broken in a rather nasty car accident. And Tai Chi, through many things, enabled me to get my body together. The old Yang style helped me to get my neck together. And the Wu style enabled me to heal my lower back. So these are things where I've personally used it. And I also, when I was in China and I was a Chinese doctor, I watched Tai Chi be used as therapy for more diseases and more physical rehabilitation than I can count. So in all these, not only did I see it done to others, and I've taught it to others, I also had to use it on myself. And I would have to say, it all boiled down to one thing. If you get the Qi moving through your body, diseases go away. If you get the Qi moving through your body and your mind, you're able to perform better. And if you learn how to use Qi within martial arts, you can fight a whole lot better too. Now, it's a lot better to learn Tai Chi before you get sick or you get hurt. If I didn't know how to do Tai Chi before I had hepatitis, I would have died in that bed. If I didn't know how to do Tai Chi, in the early stages of healing my back, I never would have been able to heal it, and I probably would have been in a wheelchair, and it would have been too late. So in terms of when many accidents happen, in terms of when you suddenly get sick, if you know what to do ahead of time, you implement it immediately and you have less of a downside effect. If then you have to start from, I am wrecked, and now I have to do something about it, the course of therapy is going to be a lot longer and probably a lot less effective. Many people say that you can't learn Tai Chi from a video, and I would say it's a half-true statement. Completely as well as it can be done, no. That a live teacher is the best. Why? Because they can put their hands on you and correct you based upon what you're doing moment by moment. And that's what teachers do live. However, if you talk about a lot of information, a lot of what's being taught. People don't see it the first time, even if they would have the finest Tai Chi master in the world in front of them. But they start seeing it later on. After many, many times of seeing it, they start seeing what was in front of them the first time. This particular program is showing what the important things in Tai Chi are in an undiluted fashion. You can watch it over and over again until you can kind of get it. And then when you meet a live teacher, you can do it better. Now, another point that people make is that, well, you can't learn mastery from a videotape. I would have to say that there is no end point of mastery. And for this, I'll make this point. My teacher, Liu Hongjie, at the time we had this conversation, had done Tai Chi for 50 years and had done it with Wu Jianquan. He was also a master in Xingyi and Bagua. And he was about as good as anybody was in China. And so I once asked him, oh, what's it like to do Tai Chi perfectly? Isn't that a master? Someone who does something perfectly? Well, he said this, you know, after doing it about 40 or 50 years, there was one day when I thought I did it perfectly. I really was a master. But you know what the problem was? The next day I did it better. So the fact of the matter is that this tape goes as close as the modern technological world allows this to be. And it's a way that what I was able to learn in China, I can put across to people so that they have the highest possible chance of getting it. And so I think this is somewhat important. And the information is undiluted. It's straight. It's clean. It's what I would want my grandchildren to have in front of them if they were going to learn Tai Chi. So I can't do much better than that, and I hope it helps. And many of you can't do what I did. You can't go to China. You're not going to be willing to give up your entire life to go and learn this subject. I did. And all I'm doing now is making it as available to people who I most likely, many I will never meet, but it will help them, help their lives. It will help people to teach Tai Chi so they can help other people's lives. And that's why it's called a mastery program. Very shortly, the Tai Chi Mastery Program will be released. If you want to know about it, you click the button and it'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know. Now, this is the point where I'm supposed to sell you and say, buy this program. And I'm not going to do it. I am a Tai Chi master. I am a Taoist meditation master. I am not a marketer. So all I can say is that you know what to click. You know how to find out. And I think it would be great if you got the program, but it's fine with me if you don't. It's all cool. And I really hope that your Tai Chi benefits out of it, and I hope Tai Chi gets better. And we're going to keep on doing everything we can to try and get the good stuff that Tai Chi can do for people, to get it out to people so they can get it. Thank you very much.